This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, South Island towns and cities come to a standstill over the weekend as protesters turn out en masse to support farmers. The government announces when the country will push go on the new traffic light system. And Alexandra residents at loggerheads with the council over the future of the Wilding Pine Tree Reserve. Tēnā koutou katoa, kia ora, I'm Simon Anderson. A number of southern towns and cities were brought to a standstill on Sunday in what organisers called the mother of all protests. The nationwide protests were coordinated by the Groundswell New Zealand group, with many people in the nation's rural heartland coming out to support farmers.
From Invercargill to Oamaru, farmers and supporters came out on Sunday to join in the mother of all protests. The weekend event was a follow-up to July's nationwide howl of a protest. Speaking in Gore, Groundswell NZ co-founder Laurie Patterson says people who work on the land feel the government has been dismissive of their concerns.
We hope that the government will understand numbers and maybe take the opportunity to talk to grassroots people about the things that they're trying to force through.
His sentiments are echoed by colleague Bryce McKenzie, who claims politicians are setting an agenda without listening to rural folk.
Because we're getting a raft of regulations and just about all of them so far have been unworkable. So there hasn't been enough consultation and going into what we're supposed to be doing on farm, and it's causing a lot of stress on the farmers and rural communities. Organisers say while about 300 people signed up to take part, many more turned out on the day. Up the road in Balclutha, farmers were cheered on by people lining the streets, giving a boost to protesters.
It's disappointing that we have to go to these lengths to defend our way of life and the future of our families. This isn't about COVID. This is about the other agendas that are being forced past us under the confusion of COVID.
Well, this isn't even about COVID. This is about all the agendas that they're trying to push through under the guise of COVID. The DHBs, the Three Waters, the SNAs, the pressures on the farmers, free speech and choice are all gone now. There's no discussions or debates. This government is just forcing big changes through that people in New Zealand don't even want.
There was also a strong contingent of demonstrators in Alexandra and Queenstown. Grant McMaster says farmers in his area aren't afraid of change, but believes the government's procedures need to be looked at.
The government's just not prepared to listen, and we don't disagree with change. Nobody, change is good, but it's the way they go about it, and they just refuse to listen to what the people are saying. About
70 vehicles and 4 tractors congregated at Woolshed Road near Hanley's farm in Queenstown in support of the movement. In Oamaru, the main drag was brought to a crawl as hundreds of vehicles inched their way through the centre of town. And in Dunedin, a parade of tractors, utes and other farm vehicles travelled into the Octagon, driving laps and honking their horns. Grey skies didn't deter hundreds of vehicles joining the event, with a range of signs protesting against the government's Three Waters reform, clean car package and a shortage of seasonal rural workers. Around the South Today.
Further north in Christchurch, more than 300 vehicles of all shapes and sizes travelled in convoys from the regions to Memorial Ave. Farmers there took to the roads to vent their anger at the government legislation which they believe is impacting their livelihoods.
Protesters waving placards lined the roads around Burnside as farmers in tractors, trucks and utes vented their anger. They were demanding changes to a range of government legislation. Sunday's event caused gridlock traffic in places as hundreds of people drove up and down Memorial Ave, tooting their horns and waving signs and flags. They had plenty of supporters along the route, along with amused local residents watching on. Christchurch coordinator of Groundswell New Zealand, Aaron Stark, estimates over 2,000 Cantabrians took part in the event and says the movement has grown way beyond just a protest by farmers.
Basically, farming at the moment is being swamped by a lot of red tape. And this is not just farming, this is all business. It doesn't matter if you're a tradie, if you're a sparky, it doesn't matter if you're a plumber. We've just got an avalanche of rules heading at us and swamping us.
Stark says keeping up with the regulations has resulted in more costs and a lot more paperwork for many in the rural community.
A lot of farmers are spending 2 or 3 days out of the week in the office, and this is rolling into weekends now. We, as a country, need to stop. We need to take stock of what's going on and go, okay, how can we make the compliance easier? How can we make the changes that are coming in easier and more understandable for the general person?
The protesters are calling on the government to make compliance changes simpler and more understandable for the general person.
The overall workload on farms is pushing people to the brink of suicide. I've lost mates over the last year because the amount of sheer rules and regulations coming into the whole thing, the amount of red tape. Look, we went farming because we love animals, we love environment, we love feeding people. And the sign behind me is, read it, no farmers, no food. That's what it comes down to.
The Groundswell Group is planning another large protest early next year, with details still to be finalised. In Christchurch, the South Today.
The whole of Aotearoa, New Zealand will move to the government's traffic light system early next month. At this afternoon's post-cabinet briefing, the Prime Minister announced a major change in the nation's war on COVID.
Cabinet has decided today that the whole country will move into the new traffic light system at 11:59 p.m. on Thursday the 2nd of December, making Friday the 3rd of December the first day that the traffic light system will be operationalised. That is 11 days from now, and it's important everyone gets prepared. You'll know that we've been long signalling that after the 29th of November meeting that it would be soon after that the country would shift.
She says the vaccination rate in each area determines the light, green, orange or red it'll be in. Auckland will start in red. The government says the decision should give the nation certainty. Sea lions are normally seen lounging about lethargically in the sun on Dunedin's beaches, but one decided to put on a bit of a show over the weekend. Visitor Lauren Falk-Major captured video footage of the local aquatic mammal frolicking on St Clair Beach yesterday morning. It could be seen running and sliding on its belly on the sand before entering the water. Lauren says it was gorgeous watching the sea lion having a whale of a time. Beachgoers are advised to give the wild animals a wide berth when they pull up out of the water onto the beach, but this cheeky sea lion wasn't affording surfers the same courtesy. One surfer tried his best to leave the creature to its fun, but the sea lion seemed insistent on popping its head out of the water and interacting with the man. Tensions will be running high in Alexandra tonight as residents air their views on the proposal to give hundreds of wilding pine trees the axe. The Central Otago District Council is hosting the event to detail its plans to chop down the trees classed as an invasive species from a popular 14-hectare reserve. A number of neighbouring residents are against removing the trees from Half Mile Reserve, which is owned by the council. Opponents claim the wilding pines are a natural noise break from the road and will result in the loss of bird habitat. The council has initially halted the eradication program after strong feedback, but has now frustrated residents by resuming plans.
There's no consultation at all, and we were forced to act in a very quick manner to try and talk to the council and change their views on this place, but very few of the staff from the council have even been here, the ones that were making the decision, which is disappointing.
The Central Otago District Council has dedicated $150,000 over the next 3 years to removing wilding pines from its properties. The Half Mile site is identified as being a damaging pine-spreading seed source. Whaiakine still to come on the South Today. Otago University academics received some welcome news, and the Tapanui A&P show goes ahead in trying times. See you soon.
Hi, it's November. We think that's too negative. We're calling it Govember. Time to go shopping. We've got a huge amount of stock we've bought in as special for you. So there's big selections of short sleeve shirts and polos, long sleeve casual and fashion shirts, jeans, trousers, casual trowel, shorts. Go check it out at Alex Campbell Menswear. Go while it's safe. Go while you can. Go while you save. It's Govember.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
So remember, it's not November, it's Govember. Alex Campbell Menswear.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Your love lifted me higher than I've ever been lifted before. So keep it up, keep on lifting.
I think the best thing about it is we're all there to ride safely and deliver that message to, so when the kids are out there, hopefully showcase that riders and drivers can integrate together. So yeah, it's just being part of sharing that message really of riding safely when you're out on the road.
Inside are all sorts of innovations from all over China.
Namainor, welcome back. Otago University is promoting 28 of its staff to the position of Professor from next February. Acting Vice-Chancellor Professor Helen Nicholson says the promotions acknowledge the dedication and commitment of the talented group. The university has appointed new professors in all 4 academic divisions from campuses in Dunedin, Christchurch and Wellington. The promotions include Peter Adams from the Music Department, who boasts a 40-year conducting career along with creative work as a composer of new music for orchestra, brass band and chamber ensembles. Dental expert Jonathan Broadbent has also been recognised for his efforts in promoting a fairer and better oral health future in Aotearoa and his work with the long-running Dunedin study. Another 52 Otago University academics are being promoted to Associate Professor, Research Associate Professor or Clinical Associate Professor. Over the last few months, A&P shows which managed to go ahead under COVID-19 restrictions have been stripped back to the bare bones. Tapanui's show went ahead over the weekend with organisers saying they were pleased to host some sort of event in these trying times.
Almost all the fun of the fair, but missing the big crowds. 3 of the major components of an agricultural and pastoral show featured at the West Otago A&P show over the weekend.
Here we are in our 2021 show but no show. We've gone ahead because of COVID issues. We've had to pull the pin on the public side of the show, and all we're running is a dog trial competition, our equine sections, and the fencing competition.
COVID did put a dampener on the event, but many there still enjoyed competing.
I don't know whether we should be thanking COVID, because we're actually well up on numbers on previous years. We're up 30 or 40 or 50 throughout the South Island anyway on numbers. I mean, we don't usually get 170 heading dogs and 50 or 60 hunterways here.
The showgrounds at Tapanui Racecourse were busy hosting the South Island Dog Trial Finals, equine eventing and contractors competing in competitive fencing.
And basically we've got 7 fencing contractors or fencers from around this lower South Island coming in to basically test the skills against one another. Basically it's a case of putting up the best fence you possibly can in the shortest period of time. So the guys who take a bit longer they might do a tidier fence, but they'll get points for taking longer.
Local AMP President Julian Kelly is looking forward to a more straightforward year in 2022 after being re-elected unopposed. He hopes the COVID traffic light system will be in place so vaccinated people can attend the event, restoring the rural atmosphere. In Tapanui, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, Super Rugby teams including the Highlanders are selected, and we have your early weeks weather. Haia koko ake nei.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
MTF Finance can help you turn the key on your next vehicle with a loan made just for you. TCs and lending criteria apply.
Hi, my name's Matt and I'm the Dines Group CEO. Dines is a company that's focused on selling logistics solutions to its customers. We're passionate about selling efficiency and we've been selling efficiency for over 50 years now.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Just plan your route a little bit, choose nice and quiet roads. In the winter it's always nice to ride north and south. That way you get the driest route and less likely to hit black ice.
what have you got? Okay. Chicks World, party time, excellent.
Love it!
Chicks World! Chicks World!
Right.
Hoki mai noa. The Highlanders confirmed their lineup for the 2022 season with a few new faces in the mix. Aaron Smith will remain team captain in the expanded Super Rugby Pacific competition. The 38-man squad includes debutants Reece Marshall, Sam Keard, Max Hicks and Musesi Dawai. Of the four, Marshall and Keard are those tipped to keep an eye on, with Marshall touted as an All Blacks prospect earlier in his career. Among the other newcomers are Otago duo Saulo Mao and Sean Withy, along with Gareth Evans, who returns for his second stint with the team. Meanwhile, three Southerners have been named to the new Moana Pacifica lineup, with Dan Lolo, Mike McKee and Chris Arpaua joining the squad for the team's debut season. All 12 squads for the inaugural Super Rugby Pacific season have been confirmed this morning, including Australia's 5 teams in the new entrants Moana Pacifica and Fijian draw. Crusaders coach Scott Razor Robinson revealed his Super Rugby Pacific squad at a function with Bromley School pupils this morning.
Yeah, look, Pablo's excited. Visa, he's got his MIQ, got the family coming. He's had some season, but he'll add something a little dynamic to our team. Bit of Latin flavour. I think the whole crowd at Orange Theory is going to get a little bit more parochial, a little bit more fun in there, and there'll be a few chants. I'm really looking forward to it.
Robertson is welcoming back Pablo Matera. Each of New Zealand's 5 Super Rugby Pacific squads have been bolstered by notable players returning from overseas. There's a total of 190 players contract to the New Zealand Football Rugby Union across 5 franchises. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South today. South Island towns and cities came to a standstill over the weekend as protesters came out en masse to support the rural community of what they say is excessive regulation. The government has announced when the country will push go on the new traffic light system, which is set to give New Zealanders more freedoms with conditions. And Alexandra residents at loggerheads with the council over the future of the Wilding Pine Tree Reserve, with a public event tonight expected to see strong debate. And now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, we welcome editor Barry Stewart. Kia ora, Barry.
Hello, Simon. Yes, more on the traffic lights. So Jacinda Ardern announced this afternoon that we would move to that scenario at 11:59 on Thursday, December 2.
Yeah.
The Prime Minister also urged Kiwis to download their vaccination certificate, because that'll become crucial in the management of this system. So we find out, get some reaction from the South about the latest development, and also explain a little bit about how the traffic light system will work.
Yeah.
Another story, the Trains Trust behind saving the Torrey Gorge line wants to take over the Dunedin Railways operation. So this vision has been put in a business case to the council, and it's from the Otago Excursion Train Trusts. So significant development there, and I'm sure a lot of people will be relieved that there's progress on that particular subject.
Yeah.
ODT cartoonist Sean Yeo is annoyed and upset that a cartoon created to mourn the Christchurch mosque attacks has been hijacked by anti-vaccination groups.
Right.
So some comments from Sean on that matter.
Mm-hmm. Great, Barry. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And time now for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Looking at the situation, it's mostly good. Fine weather ahead for most of this week as a high pressure system moves slowly across New Zealand from the Tasman Sea. However, it doesn't reach all centres immediately. Showers for both Westport and Greymouth in the northwest on 18 degrees. And there's potential for showers at the north of the island too, Nelson reaching 18, Blenheim 16 degrees. Overcast along the Canterbury coast with minimal chance of showers, Kaikoura and Christchurch reaching 14, Ashburton 15. A fine day down south, only freshened by light winds and some cloud, all on 15 degrees. Similar in central, only warmer with bluer skies. Te Anau on 16, Queenstown 17, and Alexandra and Wanaka on 18 degrees. To the north, light winds across the region, fine inland, both towns on 19 degrees, but it's mostly cloudy on the coast and cooler, Oamaru and Timaru both reaching 15. In Dunedin tonight, showers carried by light southerly quarter winds, an overnight low of 9 degrees. Those showers clear tomorrow, though it remains mostly cloudy as the winds die out, a high of 14 and a low of 6. And it's a warm and fine day on Wednesday, just experiencing some light easterlies, a high of 18 and a low of 9. And in Invercargill, any showers clear tonight with an overnight low of 8. Cloud breaks early tomorrow with the sun increasing over the day and moderate cool southwesterlies, a high of 15 and a low of 5. And it's mostly fine and sunny on Wednesday too with light variable winds, a high of 18 and a low of 6 degrees. And that's the news this Monday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and you can follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe to be notified of that southern news as it happens. Nō reira kia pai te pō, ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.